companies shouldn't be getting into any sort of politics or social justice or change. I just think it's not the right use. If you want to be a company and do something good, then go ahead and donate something and put it on your website on page 4 saying, yeah, we support this charity. Do that.
Welcome to the Customer Commerce Podcast, where technology's fast and biz is a blast.
In life and in business, time is precious. It's why customers stay or leave and why businesses succeed or fail. We're here to give a voice to everything that makes business, whether as a customer or as a CEO, easier and more rewarding. Welcome to the Customer Commerce Podcast. Let's dive in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to an unhinged episode of the Customer Commerce Podcast. I shouted at everyone before I started this because it was about to get heated with discussion. And I thought, you know what? The episodes that are with the three amigos, aka myself, Michael Linzer, CEO of Store Connect, David Breyer, just branding, crazy man, awesome man, but more crazy than awesome, but in a good way. We're going to get into discussions of all things commerce. I have some topics, David has some topics, and then Michael just landed us with a little bit of a bomb shell.
It's priceless.
Well, I look, I'm getting this from various news sources, but it's all over the socials, and there's a link on LinkedIn, which I'll just put into the chat, and Jess can include in the show notes maybe. So on LinkedIn, Jaguar fires its ad agency after that copy nothing train wreck. Shocking. You know, when Jaguar released this, if people don't know what the hell we're talking about, then fine. You obviously haven't been on socials in branding circles.
You can go to my profile, and I did a whole
David did a whole thing about it.
With the millions.
Jaguar went and hired this ad agency to produce a new direction for their brand, and they released this pink concept car that looked like a child's drawing of what a future concept car would look like. And they had all of these obviously paid actors probably attempting to be representative of every possible representative group they could do. And then the whole campaign was about copy nothing while looking like everyone else in the industry trying to do this sort of, we want to be inclusive. And when David and I first saw it, we sort of went, this could go one of two ways. You know, either in 3 weeks when they launch, they go, got you. Actually, here's our new X-type all-electric car from 1950s, just with a new drivetrain and ABS brakes, and it's fully safety compliant, and it's what Enzo Ferrari calls the most beautiful car ever produced, and you can now buy it for $400,000 a pop. Or they double down on it, and
with a straight face.
I couldn't think with a straight face. I could not think about what is the target market that they were going after with that branding. You know, it's like, who buys Jaguar cars? I can guarantee it's not retired dancers that are trying to appear on I don't want to be mean about this, but it's like, if your target market are people that love James Bond, secret agents, spies, and you basically in one ad alienate that entire market, you better have some freaking bloody good market research to back that up, man, because you are putting your entire company on the line. And that's what happened. Their stock tanked. No one was interested in the car, obviously. And now they're firing the ad agency. To be fair, it's not really the ad agency's fault. They would have gotten a brief. All of the executives would have signed off on it. This is not something that would have just been an ad agency going, you know what, we're just going to launch this and see what happens. No, this is top-down rot in that company screwing up that badly, in my viewpoint. It's just like crazy.
Well, here's one that's...
And I love Jaguars. Like, it really pissed me off.
Yeah. Oh my God.
David's researching at the same time. I can see him reading it.
Absolutely.
It's funny how even just your emotions right now, Michael, how much when a product and something that you've trusted for so long can go another way just by either a person or a group of people that just kind of in a, I don't know, lack of a better term, screw their own customers over, the effect that can have, even if you don't own a Jaguar.
Absolutely. And I think, another aspect of this is I firmly believe that companies should sell their products and services to their customers and not attempt to guilt trip their customers into whatever direction they want to go. I have no problem with any organization doing, like, we donate time and money all the time at Store Connect, but I'm not putting that out there as you should be doing this too. We're just doing good work. And that's what a company should be doing. A company shouldn't be getting into any sort of politics or social justice or change. I just think it's not the right use. If you want to be a company and do something good, then go ahead and donate something and put it on your website on page 4 saying, yeah, we support this charity. Do that. Don't attempt to change the zeitgeist of the generation through, your political will. If you are the CEO of a very successful company and you want to do that, go for it. Go join politics. Fund yourself. Get going. That'll be great. I think we need more people that have actually built things getting into politics and going and changing the world and making it a better place. But, oh my God, it's so frustrating. There was an ad that Jaguar released about 10 or 15 years ago. I can't remember the exact date, but it was gorgeous. It was all about basically being a secret agent and driving your Jag, and it's just this emotion around it. And like, yeah, that's cool. I want to get in there. I have fond memories of being in my dad's XJS in the 80s. And the thing was the most unreliable piece of crap you've ever driven in. It just kept breaking. But I remember driving between Adelaide and Melbourne. If anyone's done that, it's like a 8-hour drive and you basically pass no people on the way. And one of the fuses blew, and my dad gave me the empty Kit Kat wrapper to hold with my finger against the fuse to keep the car driving so that we could get to the next station to buy a fuse. And I got like 2nd-degree burns on my finger trying to hold this in place while we were driving to keep the car going. That's my most fond memory of a Jag, right? It had spirit and soul and activity, and this just absolutely wiped the floor with it. I'd be really interested to see what their next move is. I don't know. I don't know what their next thing is. Maybe we really did copy nothing. We went back to ourselves because we're the original and the best. There you go, Jag. I've just handled your transition.
Here's from one article. Despite their best efforts to appeal to all, the results were met with I'll give it again. The results were met with loss, particularly amongst its sales, which plunged by more than 25% in 2024. Now, listen here. The brand also recorded selling 33,000 and change cars in the same year, a stark drop from the 61,000 that were sold in 2022 and the 161,000 sold in 2019. I mean, it's just like plunged.
160 to 60 to 30 in 5 years, 4 years?
2019 to 2020 to 2023.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I could not, when that ad came out, I was trying, I'm wearing pink, right? It's not like I don't like the color pink. But when that ad came out, I just could not imagine the persona of the person that was going to walk into that Jaguar store to drop $200,000 on a car.
That's because there were none.
But that's my point. Like, isn't the whole point of an ad agency and a marketing executive to go, well, who are we selling to? What do they like?
But there's one other thing that's very, very interesting. It's like, okay, they screwed up the brand. Now their answer is searching for an ad agency. Excuse me, an ad agency. Where does a brand get defined? That is like the wrong place to go.
It's the wrong source for that. Yeah.
An ad agency that need to come up with great, bright ideas for building the brand after it's been defined. But it's like outsourcing who we are.
Jaguar, if you listen to this, risingabovethenoise.com, you can get hold of David Breyer and he'll be happy to take your call. And then we will feature you on the Customer Commerce podcast and we'll totally rebuild your brand. Give us a call.
Right. Absolutely.
You can have a paid sponsorship slot.
Yeah, exactly. But it's interesting because as you're saying that,
Brought to you by Jag.
I was forwarded this stat from fresh research from Cretio, I think is how you pronounce it. And it's that 76% of customers now say online shopping is boring. I don't think anyone's buying, well, you can buy a Jag online now. You can buy anything online. But with
I
that
don't know. Maybe,
statistic,
yeah.
I think businesses are trying to kind of fling shit to a wall and see what sticks.
There's
Actually,
a,
that's not a bad point.
a lot of folks I'm talking to, and myself too. I'm like, in the effort to be so forward thinking and have so much anticipate my next move with AI and this eye and that eye and blah 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 blah. It's like things are popping up and things are it's like I was busy going over here. I don't need all that crap distracting me. So there's been the journey has become. I think right now is a great, like, all the dust is being. It hasn't yet settled at all.
I
But
think
I-
with that,
Well,
go on, Jess.
Well, I just have a conspiracy theory, and I want to share it based on what we've been discussing. Imagine if Jaguar now found their voice again, and then went back to the traditional nostalgia of what everyone loves about Jaguar, and even more, and then came out, and I feel like that would go viral because it'd be like, oh my god,
Totally.
they've come back, and that could be a whole freaking like Inception thing in itself.
Totally.
And we never know, it could be a 10-year bloody campaign, and we were
That
all
would be amazing. That would be amazing, but it's not happening, I'm sure. I don't think
but the fact that
Bud Light just did that.
What's that?
Bud Light just did that. Like, Bud Light totally screwed themselves over with their target market in America last year for whatever reason. Like, and again, people listening to the podcast, I don't care about the politics on it. That's not what I'm talking about. But there was something that happened with Bud Light. They released something. I can't even remember what it is. It doesn't matter. But they lost a lot of sales. And just last year, or I think it was on the Super Bowl ad, they released a Bud Light commercial that was freaking hilarious. And it was right down their target market. And their sales are rebounding because they've gone, oh, they get it. And it's sort of like finding out, getting pissed off by your best friend, but then coming back because of the underlying trust. And now you're stronger than ever because you've restored that faith. Maybe. I mean, look, Jaguar, I said this when they first came out with the thing. I said, dude, if this comes off, I'll give you so much kudos. If they can actually pull this out of the fire, awesome.
You know what? It happens to artists. Like, I remember when Justin Bieber was massive and every single bloody teenage girl loved him. And then he went off the rails, right? Drugs, alcohol, the media kind of hated him as well. And we all were just like, ew, Justin Bieber. And then he came back. He's kind of gone off the rails again. So when he came back, it was just like it was the new thing. It was like, oh my God, look at him, he's back. And it was this story of like the ups and downs. So brands I know brands are going viral from the fact of the story being, we were successful and then we went broke or bankrupt, and now we're coming back up. And
now
it's
we're
like,
the underdog.
Maybe Jaguar.
look, one thing it is doing is there's a lot of people talking about Jaguar. I mean, that old saying, there's no such thing as bad media, right? It's
yeah.
I mean,
to a degree.
Yeah. I mean, it's right. I mean, the two waves, obviously now there's another wave. The first wave was in December. So, now it's like the second wave. Maybe the third wave will be the charm. Maybe it'll actually be about something that we all admire. It's like, okay, they came to their senses, because the bottom line is Jaguar. It was a suicide mission. It was stupid. I mean, we talked about it. It was either you go, gotcha, and then it would have been like, wow, they're really they totally had us hooked. But the conviction with which their brand leader or brand ambassador or brand officer or whatever his title was said, like, we were firmly committed to this vision, and I'm like, who the hell do you think you're serving?
Yeah.
That's like a chef who doesn't realize you're only serving a room full of kids who only want macaroni and cheese, and you're giving them a Michelin star, like just something, whoa, that an adult would go crazy over. But wrong audience.
You want mac and cheese. Jess, you said something earlier that was really interesting, like the survey on customers finding online shopping boring. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, 76% of customers say that online shopping is boring, which is actually a perfect segue because now there's this live shopping. I don't know if you've seen it, Michael. It's huge in China. But this need for when you go online shopping now, it's you want like you're on social media. Social media is entertaining. That's why you shop. You know, it's showing you the product. It's also got the nice looking girl that's like, look at this, and you want to be like her, or you want to be like him, or you want to have a family like that, or whatever. And you're more likely to, you know, shop and find out what they're using and what clothes she's wearing, all that kind of stuff. And websites are now having to feel that pressure to be, I don't know, entertaining or at least not boring, as the stat says.
Well, I mean, you have entertainment, reality TV, and a moving target because the quantity of available ones is going down as you're watching it in real time. It's becoming scarce. You know, so you have all of these variables which don't happen in a stagnant shopping environment, you know?
Yeah. But Michael, have you seen these live shopping videos?
They're wild.
Yeah, and there's a particular app which Gary Vee promotes quite a bit. He's saying it's kind of be like the online shopping that, you know, it's kind of coming up to trending like TikTok was. And he's pretty good at predicting things in the future now. And it's the app, it's called Whatnot. And a lot of people are making quite a bit of money from collectible items like Pokemon cards, basketball, baseball cards, old, maybe not vinyl, but like cassettes, and it's big in the kind of gamer world because they do a lot of collectibles. And what's cool about it is that, say I'm going to sell this cup of my electrolyte.
How much? I'm ready. How much?
So I'm going to set a bid to $15 here. And then I have however many, about 50, maybe 60 random people, because it's an app that anyone could join, sign up, and then they start bidding in live time. And then as soon as, I don't know how it works, if it's like it caps to a certain amount of time, or the seller is saying, okay, that's sold to, you know, David for $150. And then instantly they click a button and it's paid. So the security is all in there. It's instant. And it's crazy. I don't know how.
And critically, they're not paying cash. So what they're doing there is they're removing the friction of purchase, because you click a button and it's just paid. It's obviously still debiting your credit card or doing whatever's needed, but you're not having to make that conscious decision to pull out the card, put in your shipping details, all of those sorts of things. You know, there's a very, very, very powerful philosophy in business, which is make it easy for people to give you money. And if you can do that in business, if you can remove all the friction around letting people give you money. I actually had this come up today with a client, Rocky, if you're listening, you're the man. He contacted me and said, look, I was about to pay your invoice and I noticed that you only offer like the credit card fee, it would be like $50, because like Store Connect is not cheap. You know, the credit card fees with an online transaction on a product like Store Connect, when you're paying 1.9 or 2.3% of your transaction fee on a $5,000 order, you know, it adds up, right? And he said, do you have a way to pay via ACH? And I'm like, we actually support ACH and Store Connect, and yet we haven't got that set up in our own, you know, it's the old cobbler's shoes. Cobbler's son, the shoemaker's sons never have good shoes because he's always working for the clients, never his own family. It's sort of the same with us sometimes. ACH is like it's more of a USA thing. It's like a direct deposit wire transfer without the fees, basically, from one account to another.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, we should totally have that set up. But I didn't. So what do you do? Well, my instant reply was, we don't have that currently set up in the USA. We can give you our bank account number. You can just do a direct wire transfer. And he's like, or a direct transfer. And he went, oh, great. That handles it. We do that all the time. It's all good. But as a business, one of your primary jobs as a business owner anyway, is make sure if someone wants to buy something for you, they can just do it. If you can remove every possible barrier out of that conversation and just make it really easy for someone to get a sale through, it makes everything go faster.
We haven't done a customer rant in ages, but I have a little rant because this happened to me yesterday.
Yeah.
I want to book in a chiropractor, which I've never done before. So I'm like very much like, where do I go? I'm checking out the recommendations, and I've got 2 places to choose from, and I go to the one that was recommended the most, which is just like 6-minute drive from where I am. And I go to the website, and you know how it has the form, and I don't like filling the forms. I just don't like it. I want to go to an actual email address, and I'm trying to find an email address, and I was trying to find something else, and I was like, they don't even have
A number to
I just
call?
want to find the email. Yeah. And I'm like, cool. And I just exit out of it. And I'm just like, literally,
Lost
I'm going to go
sale.
to somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just not easy to find them and just talk to a human.
You know, this is part of that whole customer commerce idea of if you're optimizing for your business and not the customer, you're going to lose deals, because that form is optimized for them and their time and their activity. And you're sitting there going, but I just want to ask a question, and nothing in this form really fits what I want to ask.
No, I'll tell you why I couldn't. I was wondering why I didn't want to fill in the form. It was because I'm in America right now, so I have an Australian number. To fill in the form, you had to put your full name, you had to put your email address, you had to put a number, and then you had to put your message. I don't have an American number, so I put in my Australian number, nothing. And
Doesn't
so it said complete. So I couldn't complete the form.
Yeah.
But there's one other element with regard to online shopping that I've noticed. I really noticed over the past like month. The little chats thing. Oh, have a question? Da-da-da, want to chat? It went where it used to be, okay, blah, 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 you're having a chat. You're not getting help. Would you like to connect with a person? That has like been dwindling down to the point the people are gone. Everyone has assumed now AI can do it all. And I'm getting more pissed off, and I'm getting more like, eat shit and die. I don't give a shit, boom. And that's basically it. So I had to leave. So to your point, I mean, and that's the mistake. People are putting technology in place of experience and determining what is going to be the best way to ensure that experience. I mean, like Michael and I were I was in Australia last week, and we were at an event. If there wasn't a single person that was helping make sure that all of the people at this event were truly just treated personally and brilliantly, and there was no inclination to how can I offload this on, how can I deflect this to somewhere else so to get you're an annoyance to me, customer, right? I mean, that's the basic thing. And so that the personal element, right now it's a pendulum swing, and it is going way to the side of technology, and it's going to backfire, and then it's going to swing back, and the companies that are the most human, providing the most personalized experiences, are actually going to win.
Yeah, I second that. And I actually want to quickly share something because we just got off a call about an hour ago. And to your point, David, I think that's the reason why the companies that are genuinely good and genuinely care will stand out, regardless of all the fancy AI that these other companies are competing with. We just got off a call with a client. Well, how would you describe it, Michael? It was like you were doing a demo with a client of ours.
Yeah, I was doing a whole record. It's actually recorded. It was to the Salesforce non-profit user group. So there are a whole bunch of people in not Salesforce San Francisco non-profit user group. So there's a whole bunch of non-for-profits that get together and learn about new stuff with regards to how Salesforce works with non-profits. And we did a whole 1-hour interview and demo with one of our clients from God, I'm horrible at pronouncing this name. Hang on. I'm sorry, Alyssa. Please forgive me. Terito Mayhoa. Early Childhood New Zealand is the Australian version. Terito Mayhoa, and talking about their whole experience. But yeah, it was a whole user group demo. It will be on YouTube soon, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but what happened was Michael had to go off for a separate call. And I stayed on as a little creeper in the background. I had no camera on, no microphone. So I just looked like a random person. And what I noticed is that we left, and Alyssa, our beautiful client, and the organizers and a couple more people that stayed just kept talking about Store Connect. And this is when I realized the value of when people are talking, quote unquote, behind your back. And when you deliver customer service, no matter if you're there and they think, oh, I have to say good words so I can look good and make them look good. No, she was just genuinely kept talking about how much she loves using it. And the organizers are going, this is insane. I actually can't believe it that this platform can do this much stuff. And then she was saying, yeah. And I thought, like, she's not getting paid to do this. We're not,
No.
She doesn't even know I'm online. I was trying to like see how I could screen record, but then I didn't want to do that. But it just shows like this is where word of mouth happens, and where if I'm there as someone that's a potential prospect or another charity that's going, well, yeah, I mean, it's legit because look at the way these guys are talking about this company behind their back, you know? So I thought that was a real plus point on an example of Store Connect.
You know, in that whole conversation, Alyssa mentioned, I said, how was the journey? And she goes, look, not going to lie, there was quite a few road bumps. You know, we had to work through challenges. And one of the things I really push into my team, and I highly recommend this to anyone listening who runs any sort of company. Every time a customer contacts you with a problem is an opportunity to increase loyalty massively. Because if you can solve their problem with empathy and trust, they'll just keep coming back. And she actually said on the chat today, I know she won't mind because it's recorded, she said, you know, it's now that anytime I have a problem, I just call a support team and within minutes or half an hour or whatever, I get a response back directing me how to fix it, or they're already fixed it. You know, it's like we really push that very hard in our company. I had another client actually, which really exemplifies this. I do these things called CEO calls where I'll actually call a client as the CEO of Store Connect and just ask them about the product. If you are a CEO of a business, I cannot recommend this highly enough. Pick a random client, book in half an hour, and just call them and say, how's it going? How can we make our product better? And just riff off with them for half an hour. A, they love it. They get listened to. And B, you get insights that no one's going to tell you from your company. But anyway, I asked this person my magic question. And that is, towards the end of the call, I say, if you could wave a magic wand and fix any feature inside our product or fix any bug or anything, either with Store Connect or the way our company operates or whatever, what would it be, right? And this really gets people thinking because they're like, oh, I only get one wish, right? So they're sort of thinking, what would I change? And more than once, I've had an answer along the lines of, and this is an actual quote from one of the customers, but I've had this response in several other ways. But their response was, oh, I don't need to. I already have a magic wand. It's your support team. And I'm like, oh my God, that's just like...
I'm not crying, you are.
I'm going to start crying. Like I'm getting all emotional here. But, you know, that is gold. You know, if you can produce an environment with your clients that they know that if they have a problem, they can contact you and it can get resolved to whatever we need to do to make it work. And, you know, we've had clients that, frankly, I've lost a metric crap ton of money on because of the volume of support that we've given them. Absolutely. But I won't ever, I might earn it back on that client eventually. But what that has done is it's trained my support team. It's increased our help documentation. It's fixed like 10 different bugs. Like that client effectively I'm paying for the quality assurance I'm getting out of that client, which is then paying forward to every other client that comes on the platform. So anyway, I can't recommend it enough. Get in there and find those moments of friction and upset and disappointment and sadness with you as a brand and you as a company, and go in and show that you listen and show that you can fix it, and then fix it and do whatever it takes to fix it, and you'll have a customer for life. And do that and you'll make a lot of money. And if Jaguar, you were listening, go to Rising Above the Noise and fix your friggin' brand.
Beautiful. David, do you have any last words to mic drop this episode?
No, I think Michael stated it beautifully, and The only thing that I'm left with is wondering, how is it that we actually have two Michaels on this thing based on the name labels? I was just curious about that.
Oh,
Jess is Michael Lindsar.
yeah.
I didn't know that, Jess.
I didn't know that either.
You changed your name? What is
Je-
going on?
Jess
I can easily
is Jess
change
your
it
stunt
right now.
double?
Look at this.
I mean, flattery is the highest form of, what is it? Imitation's the highest form of flattery.
Right.
There we go. Can you see it now?
Yeah. You are now
Jess
Jess something.
the cool.
Jess the
Hey!
cool.
I'm gonna change. I wonder if I can change your names. Oh my
No.
gosh, I can change your names.
Ah!
I'm scared.
This is peak
right now.
content here. This
No
is
one knows
what
what
people are
we're
coming for to watch the
Right now,
podcast.
I'm
This
changing all the names.
here.
This means
David
you
in
have
the
to
house.
watch. Okay, so I'm going to end this episode. I'm going to end it. You're going to have to watch this. What am I going to do for Michael? Mike.
Thank you. I'm apologizing to everyone watching this right now.
Get it? Oh, and my light just turned off. It's telling me to get off this freaking episode.
Mic dropped the mic.
Yeah,
See you
mic
later,
dropped
everyone.
Thank you,
Bye.
listeners. We'll see you next week. Three amigos.
Very
Ciao.
good.
Ciao.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope you had an awesome time, leaving you with ideas on how to improve your business and wow customers. If you'd like to leave a real customer's story, head to the link in our show notes and cuss away. Love the show? Please subscribe and leave a review, because that enables us to help more businesses in building real relationships with customers and grow more rapidly. See you next time.